Hola, bienvenidos.
Hola, bienvenidos.
Pues yo doy los bienvenidos a Claudia, Elena, Iván, Joaquín Ignacio, Manuel Macías, gracias por estar aquí otra vez, Joaquín Ignacio, Marta Cuña, buen día, Mireia, ya te vi, Raquel, hola, Alain, buenos días Alain, emotive events Spain and Portugal.
Hello.
Y continuamos con gente entrando.
Bom dia de São Sebastiana. Tell us where you're from. Bom dia, Portugal. Diga-me se estão aqui.
Bom dia, Portugal. Eu também sou portuguesa. Fazemos a sessão em inglês, mas sou portuguesa. Sou muito portuguesa. Sou muito lisboeta. Muito alfacinha. Muito alfacinha. Mas hoje estou no Porto. É a minha segunda cidade preferida do mundo, é o Porto. Primeiro é Paris, depois é o Porto.
Ah!
Sim, é verdade. Adoro o Porto. São Sebastián, buenos días. Juan Martínez, hola desde Valencia. Me encanta ver los nombres que conozco aparecer en pantalla. I really love to see you guys coming on the screen and see that you're coming to meet us and to listen to us and participate with us in this. Hello, Bea, and participate with us on this new webinar. Thank you. Alexandra Cerqueira, Foro de Ideias.
Olá, Alexandra. Bom dia.
We're going to wait a couple of minutes more because it's now 12 o'clock. So we wait a couple of minutes more so that people can join and not come in the middle of the session, because this is a very important session with an expert that I like very much. So, and I believe you will love it. Let's see if we wait for the most part of our participants so they can share this webinar, and not only that, they can learn with this webinar. So how's the weather in Portugal, Marjolaine?
The weather is nice. It's last week was very hot, and we had a few colder days, but for today it's a beautiful day again. So
yeah, here in Madrid we had an awful weather until last week, and then all of the sudden it's summertime. We are like 34, 36 during the day, 26 during the night. Already the nights are hot. I'm gonna start using my pool because otherwise I'm gonna stuck here. There's no river, there's no sea. It's a beautiful town, but there's no water. So I'm gonna start using my pool. That's gonna be a very good idea.
I think so.
And I hope I can go to Lisbon soon. I'm always saying that, but I never arrive. I already have my certificate, so I really can go. So close, and at the same time so far. So, and drive there, it's not an option.
No?
I hate to drive, so I have to take the plane. I really hate to drive. I'm sorry. I just drive to work, to the supermarket, and that's it. Besides that, 600 kilometers is not really my cup of tea. I know you do it, but anyway, I don't.
I do it since I was a child. Since I was a child, I've been driving. It was first my father, then it was my husband. We always drove.
Okay, I think we can start our. Here we have.
Olá, Ana.
Ana, do Convenção do Porto de Lisboa. Bom dia. So here we are. I think we can start our session today. We have put on our chat our social media. So it would be fantastic if you could follow us on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Not only because we post our events, our webinars, but we also post news from the industry, updates from global MPI that are really important, webinars that they are doing also in the US or in Europe. So it's always a way for you to find out what we are doing. So I want to welcome everybody that is online with us now. And I'm very happy that this is our last webinar before holidays. Yes, we also go on holidays, but it's our last one now, 1st of July. The next one will be the 8th of September, a very good one also in English. So I want to welcome all of you that connected with us with MPI Iberian chapter. The topic today is something we really need very much today. 10 keys to leading the future. We know we've been in a pandemic. Now we are sort of trying to come out. And what about the future? What are we going to do in the future? Not only the event industry, but in the world in general. So that's why we thought that to bring this topic to you, it was important. We are all looking at the future. We know that a light at the end of the tunnel, but we need some topics, we need some guidance, and that's what we are trying to do. So as you know, MPI is the biggest international association only with meeting planners, event organizers, and everything we do is done looking at the MICE industry. That was one that suffered the most and needs today a lot of help to stand the biggest and the important industry we are. So we are dividing about 70 chapters around the world, from Japan to South America, US, well, all Europe. We have 11 chapters in Europe. So if you want to join us, just write us to info@mpi-spain.org. Okay, and Lorena will give you all the needed information for you to be part of MPI and to have access to all these event planners, because that's quite a networking benefit that we have today. Officially, and not only officially because she has been working with us since last year, but I want to present Marjolein Diogo da Silva. Marjolein, as you know, is a long-time professional. She has her own company, and she is our vice president for Portugal. I'm the president for the chapter, and she's the vice president for Portugal. And in fact, if you need, for the people that are now connecting from Portugal, if whatever you need from us, just talk to her. Okay, she will be your contact all the time for any subject that you might have. Now I want to present Marjolein, and she will do the beginning of the session.
Well, good morning, everybody. Bom dia, buenos dias. In order to make this session a little bit more exciting, we are going to use an app from SparkUp like we did the last time. You can either use your phone and click on the QR code, or you can go to the internet and type mpi.sparkup.live. And then enter the session code GJBCA, as you see on the screen. Now maybe SparkUp afterwards can tell us if people are joining us. So it's mpi.sparkup.live and the session code is GJBCA. As Teresa was mentioning, for any of those of you in Portugal who would like to have more information, I think most of you know me. You have my contact, and just drop me a message or call me and we can have a chat. Now, all those who are on SparkUp, please tell us, as we are at the moment in Porto and the north of Portugal, in one word, how would you describe it?
You can write in any language, in Spanish, Portuguese, English, French, whatever.
Wonderful. Amazing. Fantastic. Hospitality. Of course, here in Portugal, we have hospitality. Patrimonio Humanidad.
Don't forget the food.
Wine.
The food is so good.
Wine and the Porto wine.
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome food. Totally.
And the River Douro, that is so beautiful. And the cruises up the 4 bridges that are amazing. There's so much in Porto. It's my second favorite city in the world. First is Paris. So.
Okay.
Amazing. I think we have somehow defined Porto.
I think so. Lindo, é verdade. É uma cidade lindíssima. Maravilhoso. É mesmo.
Trendy. It's very trendy nowadays, Porto. Yes. It's amazing, but it is very, very trendy.
Well, I think we'll have to say a very, very big thank you, muito obrigada, a Porto and the North of Portugal, the Porto Convention Bureau, for sponsoring this session. Without your support, we would not be able to make this kind of sessions and give your education. And in order to tell us a little bit more about this stunning destination, let us welcome Mariana. Hello, Mariana.
Good morning.
Nice. Good morning.
Hi, everybody.
And I have a wonderful announcement to make that Mariana has joined us at the board of the MPI Iberian chapter. So we are now 2 in Portugal to spread the word of MPI. So also for those, you can either contact me or you can contact Mariana for any information you need about MPI. So Mariana.
We are very happy as chapter. We are very happy that Portugal has 2 people on the board and that we are growing our members over there. Thank you very much to both of you.
It's an honor.
Pleasure.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for the introduction. I love the Spark Up activity that we did before. You totally got the whole essence of Porto in the north of Portugal. I was really surprised with all the answers, and I'm very glad to know that a lot of people know the destination. So maybe I should leave. No, I'm kidding. Well, but thank you, Marjolaine, Teresa, Lorena, and really the whole MPI Iberian chapter family for this great opportunity and for the short experience that I've been having with the board. It's been great to be with you all, and I hope that we'll do great things together. But focusing on today, it's also an honor for me to be here representing the Porto Convention and Visitors Bureau and to host this great motivational session here together with Lluís Soldevila. Well, motivation is really what our sector needs at this stage. And I promise that our destination will follow today's theme. So with the eyes on the future, let's focus on that. So I'm just going to go through a few of our proudest moments, incentives, updates, and upcoming projects that our destination is involved and you should be aware of. So first of all, the Porto and the north of Portugal is ready for business. Hotels have reopened, venues, touristic attractions are really on full power mode. We have been hosting many events live and hybrid, such as the Champions League, which probably you have heard, and many other events related also to our European Union mandate for this past year. All of them have proven to be successful with all of the safety and sanitary measures taking place with all the involvement of local players such as PCOs, DMCs, AV companies, caterings, and many, many, many more. Some of you are probably even watching it right now. Also, something that I think you guys should know is that we are launching some interesting local case studies regarding sustainability, innovation, digitalization, with a direct and indirect impact in our circular economy and, of course, in our event sector industry locally. This project is called Mythology, and you can follow this series on our LinkedIn page. Some have been posted and you can watch it, and some are going to be posted throughout this next months. Yeah, future, eyes on the future. Also, for incentive planners, this one is for you. Next week, we are launching our travel series, which are short theme episodes like city break, wine and gastronomy, lifestyle, that will take you on a real tour in our region. And you will be able to explore the best spots, top sellers, and really hidden gems that will help you to plan your incentive for you and your client, of course. Something that it's important to mention, especially nowadays, that we all need an extra support, especially planners, of course. There is a national fund which supports our industry and your projects. So if you are an event planner, have a chat with our team and let's check all of the funding possibilities for you and, of course, your client. Again, let me reinforce this. Meetings are allowed because all of the venues, hotels, transports, tourist attractions, animations, congress centers are really following all of the mandatory rules that they will assist you to provide their best assistance to make your event successful. This is very important. Also, it's important for you to know that at the stage, indoor meetings with more than 500 participants do require antigen and PCR tests. This is completely mandatory. If you need also more information, please talk with us and we'll be happy to talk to you.
Okay, girls, now and guys, now I'm going to present our speaker for today. And he's a very special man that I really like very much to hear him speak. His name is Lluís Soldevila. He's among the top 10 speakers in motivation and digital leadership. He held several managing positions at the Deutsche Bank group worldwide during about 15 years, ending up being head of New York office for the technology subsidiary. He's now currently CEO of Actitude, that I think you can see on screen, professor of digital transformation at ESA Business School and director of the Innovation and Entrepreneurship Program at EA Business School. He's also the author of the books, The 3 A's in Success, Morder el Hielo, Bite the Ice, and Digital Thinking. He collaborates with our Spanish television, RTVA, TV3, La Vanguardia, El País, RNE, la Radio Nacional Española, RAC 1, and other national and international media. As an international speaker, he has given seminars and conferences in more than 250 companies in Europe, United States, and Asia. And he has impacted more than 20,000 professionals with these sessions. So welcome, Lluís. It's a pleasure to have you here with us. I'm very excited about this presentation.
So good morning, everybody. Pleasure is mine. So I'm really thankful being invited by MPI Iberia. So it's a real pleasure. I'm still impressed about that video. I also had goosebumps. So congratulations, you have done a great job. And I'm sure that this is going to be extremely successfully when it comes to promotion. So let me just check that you can hear and see everything perfectly. So if you can just give me a thumbs up on the chat or anything, so I know that I can go ahead. So everything okay? Sound, video, yes, thumbs up. Okay, there we go. So let's put the cron. There we are. So this is about digital thinking, right? And what is digital thinking in today's session? Let me start by referring to a past event. We are on the event world, so I'm going to be using an example that happened to me some years ago when I was in Cartagena de Indias, and that was 2018. Also, another amazing event destination. I was there opening the Andicom. Andicom is the biggest fair when it comes to technology. It's the biggest technology fair. It's like the Mobile World Congress we have here in Barcelona in Europe, exactly the same, but for LATAM. I was the opening speaker, and my keynote was about digital leadership. In front of me, I had probably the 1,000 top IT people in LATAM, in Latin America, right? And the first question I asked them was, do you know the name of my wife? And then I put a counter. Okay, so it was 60 seconds, 59, 58, 57. So people was like, what was that question? I mean, was it real? Did I hear it properly? Then there were only 40 seconds left. And somebody began to just try. Maria, Yolanda, no, sorry for that. Then some of them shout a very concrete name, which is Montserrat, because I don't know if you know the story among Barcelona and Bogota, but we have the same Virgin, okay? And she lives in a mountain and she's black-faced, right? And her name is Montserrat. So they somehow try to know me a little bit and make not a guess, but some kind of prediction based on me, based on the knowledge, which is correct. At the end of that 1 minute time, nobody had given the right name. And then I told them, you know, when I'm doing this at the SADE Business School with my 21 years old students, it takes them only 10 seconds to find out the name. This only works in Spanish, obviously. They just write down in Google, Lluís Soldevila, casado, that means married. And there we go. Everybody was like, oh, we didn't thought about this. And then I said, okay, I got you. You were on my trap. That was a trap for you. So you have all the technology. You are skilled on technology. So you have the tool set. We have a tremendous Wi-Fi here. You're skilled. We have the skill set. So not only tool set, but also skill set. But the missing thing was the mindset, which is the last step. Okay? So this is what this keynote, this little keynote is about. We want to talk about transformation. We're going to talk about digital transformation, but we barely will talk about technology, because in my opinion, that has nothing to do with it. And talking about transformation, if we think about the days that we are living, we can refer to a recent transformation, to a recent huge transformation that we have been living for. And we can think that this is, I mean, anything that has been like nothing else before. Okay, we all have been able to see images that were unthoughtable just 2 years before. But that's because we are too young. Because if we have a little bit of memory, exactly the same images now in black and white were happening exactly 100 years ago. Okay, that was the so-called Spanish flu just 100 years ago. So message here is we will overpass that situation. We have always done like this. Okay, the thing is that we have only a short memory because we are too young, but as a humanity, we are tremendously powerful when it comes to make transformations, to make adaptation. And the big transformation that we are dealing with is the so-called digital transformation. Okay, Everything is digital now, and this is leading us to digital transformation. And the message here is, as I told you before, we will not be talking today about digital, but more about transformation. And when we talk about digital transformation, the thesis I'm going to be sharing with you is that if we only talk about digital, about technology, if we talk about tool set, did you remember? Then this little butterfly that we normally use, everybody has used in some slide, in some PowerPoint slide, this butterfly, which is transforming herself, right? I mean, if we just use aptitudes, meaning skills, meaning technology, meaning tools, then this little butterfly will be able to go far on the road, which is okay. It is okay to go far. But we want to succeed. If we want to, and I'm telling you this, I'm an IT engineer, okay, so I have some credibility, right? We want to go high. If we want to reach altitude, then it's not a matter of aptitude. Altitude, when it comes to transformation, it's a matter of attitude, okay? And in that point, with the right attitude, with the right mindset, then we will reach this. So, as a summary, I am asking you to tattoo that sentence on your arm. So, it is attitude, not aptitude, what will determine your altitude. Is that clear? That sentence was said by somebody known as Lluís Soldevila in 2015. You know what happened that time? I don't know if I discovered that sentence or if I wanted this sentence to be true, because at that time, my life changed quite strongly. Yeah, I can tell you, I'm an expert on changes. Yes, that was a huge change. Okay, my triplets were born. So let's come to transformation again. Transformation today, the main one that we're facing with, I agree with you, it's the technological one, it's the digital one, and COVID has done nothing else but accelerating it. And that's the key word, acceleration. Because when changes go fast, we are somehow used to deal with that. But one thing is speed of change, and another is acceleration. When a change has not only a speed, but acceleration, then things come a little bit more complicated. Let's have a look at this picture. This picture, you can see the red line. The red line has to do with changes, right? Yes, that's increasing. You see the red light, that's a linear change. Then the blue light goes a little bit slower at the very beginning, but it goes much more higher when it crosses the red one. That's quadratic change, but exponential change is the green one. So it's slow at the beginning, but it gets extremely fast because it gets accelerated. That's acceleration. And digital has this feature. Digital technology, just by definition, just by the way it is created, gets doubled in terms of speed and in terms of capacity every 2 years. That is a law that has been there since 1968. So that lead us, that speed, not only speed, but acceleration is leading us into a volatile environment. Okay? So because we have that speed, we are living in a volatile world, not only because of digital, but because of any change that we are facing with. But now let's focus on digital. Let's focus on this 2021 after this acceleration due to COVID. Speed of changes, accelerated changes. So what else is describing this new normality or this new reality? Okay. Technology has always been extremely difficult to forecast. Winston Churchill, when he saw the nuclear technology for the first time, he failed. He said, that's not dangerous. Bill Gates in 2004, he also failed. He said they were going to kill the spam in 2 years. Okay, so at the end, it's not only a matter of this technology, digital technology, it's a matter of every technology. Every technology, when it comes new, it's nearly impossible to forecast. And that leads us into the second feature of this world, which is uncertainty. So we have volatility, we have uncertainty, and we have also a third one, which is complexity, right? So on the bottom right side, you see a complicated thing, okay? That is extremely complicated, but with technology, we can deal with it. It's a matter of power, it's a matter of muscle. But what about the top left image? It's extremely difficult, and this is how the world is today. We live in an interconnected, multi-channel, multiple systemic environment where cause-effect is extremely complicated to determine. So we have volatile, we have uncertainty because it's difficult to forecast. And we have also a third feature. Have a look at this. If I'm telling you this, you can think that this is, I don't know, HP, Hewlett-Packard, or maybe horsepower, or maybe Harry Potter, whatever. So yeah, you can think that this is HP, you can think that this is Harry Potter, depending on your life, depending on your environment. But what is extremely important is that you do not decide that this is this, because this is neither HP nor Harry Potter. What do I mean with this? That we need context, because the world we are living now is ambiguous. We are living with ambiguity. So much information, so fast, so uncertain that we live in an ambiguous world, and this is extremely difficult. Okay, so there you are. We have the 4 characteristics of the new reality. Probably you have heard this acronym. I have just created this acronym for you: volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. Okay, this is not an acronym that I have invented. That was invented in the USA Army prior to the 9/11 attacks. Then, due to that attacks, that concept was taken again, because that was defining a new reality with things that had never happened before. And I'm using this now, okay? We are quite used to use this in the academia world, because the situation we are living due to digital transformation has a lot to do with this. Okay, so everything is VUCA, volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. And you know what is the problem? Is that you guys, you are told, we are told, humans, we are told, right? What do you mean, Lluís? Yeah, I mean that we are exactly like this guy, meaning we do not love complex things. So it's difficult to live in a VUCA world because we are not used to these 4 letters. We prefer another set of 4 letters. Instead of complex, we like trivial. Instead of ambiguous, we like obvious. Instead of volatile, we like assured, accurate. And instead of uncertain, what we really like is to be everything well defined. So there you are. We are toads living in a VUCA world, and this is creating a lot of problems, right? So how to deal with it? First thing would be to listen and remember what important people like Bauman were telling us. They said, we have to stop being solid and we have to become liquid, because a liquid has a higher degree of adaptation, right? That's correct. I don't mean that this is not correct. But moving from solid to liquid was also said by Bruce Lee. If you remember, be water, my friend. I think that this is not enough, seriously. I think that in today's world, we have to go one step farther. It's not enough moving from solid to liquid. We need a higher degree of adaptation. Trying to create a framework for doing this, for facing this, for creating this new reality based on that big challenge, then I went back to my childhood, and I was looking for somebody inspiring me, somebody that, I don't know, somehow had done the digital transformation before, and somebody who has, with a clear focus, leadership skills. So I was looking for my digital leader to inspire me. Back to my childhood, as I told you, I was able to find him. Let me introduce him. He will be leading us today through these 10 keys of leading the future.
It's so powerful you are. Why leave?
There you are. I had to I had to go to Star Wars, and then I found I found Yoda. No doubt Yoda was a leader. No doubt he did the digital transformation. You can see now he has a digital weapon where normally there was an analog one, right? So that first image is already giving us the first key. And using analog tools, transforming it into digital, that has to do with technology. Yes, you're right. And that's for me a treat, a key, which I name it digiteracy. Digiteracy, okay? And what do I mean by digiteracy? I mean that we have to be extremely digital. Here we are doing this from all over the world with technology. We are sharing videos, we are sharing presentations, we are using these amazing tools that we have at SparkUp. I mean, we already are, we have a high degree of digiteracy. Digiteracy, it's a combination of digital, okay, and being able, like some years ago, we need to be able to have literacy, okay, being able to write and read. Today, if you are not skilled with technology, then you cannot survive. That's why I created this new word, okay? And the good thing is that people who is coming, they will be a digital native, you know this, but the good thing is that you, if you find the right motivation, right? If you find the right motivation, no matter how old you are, then you will be able to succeed, right? So the first one, in any area you are working, you have to be extremely skilled on digital. But Lluís, you told us that this was not about technology. Okay. Out of 10 traits, out of 10 keys, I'm going to be sharing with you. That's the only one that had to do with technology. So let's go for the remaining 9.
Is the force and the powerful ally it is. Life creates it, makes it grow. Its energy surrounds us and binds us. Luminous beings are we, not this crude matter. You must feel the force around you.
Yoda is repeating all the time, dark side, bright side, dark side, light side, okay? Is what I name vision, okay? So Yoda has a clear vision. He's always with this, feel the force around you, okay? Doesn't matter how difficult the situation is, he's always talking about something that is unchangeable. It doesn't matter how big the changes are, but you stick to it because this is your vision, okay? It's like, I don't know, you have to be strong enough, not only in what you have in the surface, okay, but the basement, so that any strong wind that will come, you will be able to survive. Think about Google. Google probably is one of the most advanced, most technological, most innovative companies, and they have these 10 things we know they are true. Doesn't matter anything that they create, that they invent, it has to match with these 10 things, okay? I strongly recommend you that you search in Google 10 things we know they are true. We know to be true, okay? It's like a decalogue. At the end, what is a decalogue? It's nothing else than a vision, right? So let's go to find out the third trait for digital leaders.
If you end your training now, if you choose the quick and easy path, as Vader did, you will become an agent of evil.
Wow. So he's talking about the short path and the long path, okay? And not taking always the short path, but the best one, even though it's not the shortest, but the longest, that has to do with intrapreneurship. Entrepreneurship is one of the most powerful capabilities that you can teach, that you can demand in your teams. If everybody in your team has this entrepreneur mindset, but you are giving them the coverage of your company, because not everybody is ready for the risk of an entrepreneur, but everybody is willing to create new things. I mean, we want to create, we still are kids, we want to play, we want to discover, right? So you as a company, you have to create the environment as a leader so that you somehow create a field where these little flowers will grow. And it doesn't matter how old, how young, how big, how small your company is. Think about Deutsche Telekom. This is the telecommunications, the state or the former state telecommunications in Germany. So these guys, they don't look like, I don't know, Californian-based serial entrepreneurs, do they? They are, I mean, quite normal, quite all if you want, and they are, come on, they are German. So they are quite, let's say, with a traditional mindset. I've been 15 years in a German company, so I love German, right? Nothing against them, but that's true. Maybe they are not the best example or the first that will come in German when we talk about entrepreneurship. But Deutsche Telekom, they know this, and they have created this UQ-based initiative. So they give them resources, they give them time, they give them mentorship, because normally, you know what happens? That entrepreneurs are already there in your companies. The only thing you have to do is look for them. It's very easy to identify them because normally they go upstream, right? Because they are designed for this. And the fact that they are designed for going upstream, that means that you have to be careful and adapt a little bit your organization to them. So you have to find new ways to deal with these different persons, with people, these different animals. I like to call them that they are different animals. They are no longer dogs. You are no longer dealing with dogs now. You're dealing with, I don't know, monkeys, cats, or wolves, or whatever, right? So the nature of those employees will be different. So you have to adapt. The effort is a strong worth. I mean, we do this in companies. So we go there, we stay 100 days, and we try to change mindsets, okay? And once we do this at the end, and we transfer them, we change the mindset into a digital mindset, digital meaning all these things that we are just learning today, then the result is much more worth. It's much more higher than the investment they do, not only in money, but in time and in effort. So you want to go a little bit further? Just give me some feedback on the chat if you are following this properly, if everything is correct, sound, videos, voice, music, content. Just say yes, no. Is everything okay? Salva, what do they say? Cannot see from here. Okay, so let's go. Let's keep on listening to Yoda.
Fear is the path to the dark side. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. I sense much fear in you.
Here, Yoda gives us a big lesson of self-knowledge. He drives us into this path that is happening inside you, from fear to anger, from anger to hate, from hate to suffering, okay? So self-knowledge, or in other words, awareness of oneself. And just let me throw you a question. How many of you has a high degree of self-knowledge? Most of you, right? Yeah, I mean, I'm 30 years old. I've been 30 years. My last 30 years I've been spending with myself. So I know quite a lot about me. But the question is, the serious one, the good one, is the important one, the relevant is, have you used any methodology to know about yourself? Have you used a technique, or is just intuition, right? So I have created a methodology based on consulting methodologies I was using in my previous stage as a Deutsche Bank manager. And this is called personal, DAFO personal in Spanish, or personal SWOT. And that takes the SWOT analysis, a quite old technique, quite useful and quite easy technique, SWOT, measuring strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats. But instead of doing this from you to the outside, analyzing this country, analyzing this project, what I mean now is, instead of looking out the outside, look at the inside. Okay, please don't do this, because this is obviously a fake, right? But it's just, for me, a hint of the type of exercise you should be doing. Okay, if you want to know more about this methodology, just, I don't know, contact MPI, or we will be sharing you how to do this, because this is extremely easy, okay, and extremely guided, and the benefit that will give you is enormous. It's going to be a pleasure for me to mentorship you in that process. Let's keep on listening to Yoda.
Master, moving stones around is one thing. This is totally different.
No, no different. Only different in your mind. You must unlearn what you have learned.
You must unlearn what you have learned. Some years ago, it was enough when we talk about flexibility. We have to be flexible. Companies have to be flexible. Today, it's not enough. We have to go one step further. We are talking about agility. And this is exactly what Yoda meant. You have to unlearn what you have learned. That is much difficult than learning new things. It's unlearning, okay? And agility has to do with action, to be able to change from here to there. And let me give you a little framework for this. In my opinion, there are only two types of people. We have people living their life in a U shape. They have a U-shaped life. They are this little ball, right? What happens here? It's extremely comfortable. If there is wine, I don't get it. It's cold outside, I'm warm inside. Even if they move the U, can you imagine? You stay in the same place, right? But what about the energy? You are at the lower position. I want people on my life. I want people on my companies that live the life in a reverse U shape. And they are here. Yes. Where are you? Here you are, right? So it's extremely complicated being here. I have to be in constant movement. But what about the energy? You are on the top. You are at the maximum energy level. The good news is that constant movement doesn't mean moving towards any direction. That's crazy. That's chaos. Constant movement means moving towards two directions. Explore and explode. Exploration with an R means visioning, means creating new things. Exploitation means to be able to execute. That means execution. If you think about one of these top people, you know, at work, in your family, whoever, he or she, I'm absolutely sure that he's or she's extremely good at doing, but also at thinking not only in the short term, but in the long term. That's exploration. So you have to combine both. Exploitation, that means working perfectly on top of this line, but also exploration, that means raising your head and looking at the next chapter. Let me use an example of sports. I love sports, and I'm going to be using an example of this. This is the most famous curve on the MotoGP championship. Okay, it's famous because it's extremely complicated. Okay, so it's a double curve and it's quite a fast one, and this is going down. So velocity, it's an important topic here. So 6 years ago, we have these two gentlemen. On your right side, you have Valentino Rossi, probably the best rider ever. And we have here another gentleman that we will not take too much care because we are extremely interested on Valentino Rossi, blue 46, okay? That's Casey Stoner, but in that case, Valentino Rossi, he decided that day he was going to explore a new way of doing that curve. A new way of doing a curve, how can it be, Lluís? There is no, a curve is a curve, unless you want to explore and you are Valentino Rossi. Have a look at this.
He comes straight back at the corkscrew. We haven't seen action like this as Rossi runs off track and pushes Stoner.
Wow, an amazing movement, right? But what he didn't know is that there was a little boy around, little Spanish boy, called Marc Márquez. Next year, Marc Márquez was close to Valentino. Look at this picture. He was there. Now, nearly the same picture. We have Valentino Rossi here, but here on his right side, on your left side, Marc Márquez. I want you to look at Marc Márquez now. What did he do that time to his professore? Wow, he was doing exactly the same, but a little bit better. So Valentino explored and Marc Márquez explode. He saw that is possible. He has created this. He has invented this. I'm going to put this on my portfolio because I want to be the best exploding. So now we have to demonstrate that Marc Márquez also knows how to explore. And he did that year. That year, they had to change motorbikes because it was raining. So how to change a motorbike? Not much to innovate. You just go with the old one, step back, and step in the next one. That is Valentino Rossi changing motorbikes. That is another rider doing exactly the same, but a little bit faster. And this is Marc Márquez doing it. Let's have a look at it again. It's working. So this is exploring. So he invented a new way. Okay. I love sports and I love to use sports examples because they are perfect. Because in most of the occasions, sports people, they have to follow rules as we do. And they are chanted, I'm absolutely sure, with the idea of, I cannot change this, my friend. These are the rules. This is a game. This is a sport. I have to follow the rules. What are you telling me, Lluís? I cannot change. Next example is an example of a very brave sports woman. He was on a sport where changes are not allowed. You have to do what you were told to be done. But that day, she was ready to break the rules. I want you to look at the exercise, but not only the exercise, the technical part, which is amazing. But this is only aptitude. Did you remember? She went for altitude. And how did she manage? With attitude. So look at her face. Look at her face. he's beginning to break the rules. Look at these movements, talking with them. Wow. Technically, she's brilliant, but look at these movements, sexy ones. So this is not allowed. This is breakdance. Come on, what are you doing? Right? Now, Michael Jackson is on stage. So she's asking for the people to be with her. And wow, the exercise is impressive. I mean, technically, she's great. Okay, but probably now a little bit more of breakdance. A moonwalker here. Can you see the moonwalker? Look at her face. She's having lots of fun. Look at her tongue. She's showing her tongue like, hey, I know I'm breaking the rules. Another time with her tongue there. Okay, and look at technically how she will finish. 1, 2, 3, bam. Wow. No need to say that the grade she got was a 10 out of 10. Okay, so no excuses. If you want to break the rules, you can break the rules. So let's keep on listening to Yoda.
Impossible to see. The future is.
So he's talking here about not, the dark side is clouding everything, so impossible to see. He's talking about presence. Presence is the 6th key to be a successful digital leader, to lead the future, because we live on a social media era. So we have to know extremely well how to communicate, what to communicate, and who do we have to reach, okay? So please put in your life and in your work, in your professional life and in your personal life, a little bit of strategy, meaning that I have to know what, how, and who should I address, and not just spend our time looking at social media, because that's extremely easy, but at the end, we will not find any return. Let's go with the 7th treat.
Sir, I am fluent in 6 million forms of communication.
Wow, now we have here 3PO telling us that he knows, I don't know how many millions of languages. This is talking about communication. It's extremely important to communicate as a leaders. If we want to lead the transformation, if we want to deal with the transformation, we have to communicate. And what happens in many occasions, in too many occasions, that the way we communicate is this. We just put a message here, we send the message, and we hope that somebody will read it. And here, just a recommendation. My preferred way of communicating is storytelling. Storytelling is exactly what I'm doing right now, what I have been doing for the last 37 minutes, okay? Storytelling comes from the Indians in North America, the former Indians in North America. They didn't know how to write, so they had to talk with emotion so that they remembered there was no way to write down knowledge. Okay, so if they wanted to survive, they need to story tell the knowledge in order that this was transferred and memorable. So we have only 2 treats missing. Let's go for the number 8.
Long is Vader. Mind what you have learned. Save you again.
Mind you have learned, save you again. You know that Yoda had a very peculiar way of talking, but anyhow, it's quite clear what he was meaning here. He was meaning that we have to be learning and learning and learning. This is lifelong learning, okay? I say no, quite often to my wife, okay, I wish I had studied mathematics. Why? Because, I don't know, the Pythagoras theorem has been the same for the last, I don't know how many thousand years. But I'm on the IT sector, I'm on the innovation. I have to be curious because things keep on changing every time. But isn't that cool? I mean, isn't that cool that you have 80 years like Ophelia and still with this energy? I mean, learning, lifelong learning is giving you this, okay? Because learning keeps your brain active and because it gets you connected with the youngers, right? So at the end, it's not a bad news, it's a good news. So how many things in the subjects that you were learning in your degree in your school are you using now, right? So we are in a world, specifically the digital world, where things are changing so fast that we have to be learning constantly. The good thing is that we get so many learning sources and so many learning formats that lifelong learning is no longer a pain, but I think really, really fun. So, treat number 9.
Josh for those around you who transform into the Force. Mourn them, do not. Miss them, do not.
Yoda here is talking to us about people. People, rejoice for those around you who transform into the Force. It's extremely important to make teams, to hire people with a high degree of energy, people that, I don't know, it's adding your energy, not somehow decreasing your energy levels, okay? So I always say that we have to be more like dogs, okay? Do you have a dog? So how many times is he on a bad mood, you know, today? I do not recognize you as my owner because I'm in a bad mood, right? This doesn't happen, right? Oh, we have to be like kids. We have to be like kids, right? Because kids are always happy, no? If they are somehow fit and they are warm and they have no illness, they have this emotion, right? And it's like, ah, we will go next week to the beach. Really? Really? And then after 10 minutes, where are we going to the beach? Okay, it's just 1 week, except 10 minutes, right? So, and then they are so excited. The thing is that what happens with kids, and probably you will recognize this, is that try to put a problem into a kid. What do you want to be when you grow? I want to be a, I don't know, football player, or I want to be an astronaut, or I want to be a teacher. You tell them, no, that's impossible. What is going to be his or her reaction? Okay, thank you, sir. I want to change my future. Not at all. He'll tell you, okay, I will work hard, or I will do this, I will do that. To a kid, you put a problem and they jump into the problem, they find a solution. You put them another problem and then they find another solution. But when we grow, it's the other way around. We find a solution and we are extremely good putting problems on top of it. And then we find a solution, then we put another problem. So it's the other way around. Okay, so please get in contact with people, with relevant people, with nice people, with more doggy people or with more kiddie people, right? Because that's how teams become excellent. And let's go for the last one.
I can't. It's too big.
Size matters not. Look at me. Judge me by my size, do you?
So probably you remember that scene, no? He was trying to move the spacecraft, and Lucky says, it's too big for me. And then Yoda says, no. He says, size doesn't matter. Okay, so it's not a matter of size. And this happens nowadays in our interconnected world. It's not important how people do we have in our organization. It's important how many people do we know so we can get in contact with them. And that's network. Okay, so that's the end of my presentation, and let's somehow make a little summary. We have seen these 10 keys for leading the future: digiteracy, vision, entrepreneurship, self-knowledge, agility, presence, communication, lifelong learning, people, and network. Okay, are we going to change this? So are we going to change the world? No, the world is going to be the same. I mean, the world will be still VUCA, with volatility, uncertainty, complexity, I'm sorry for that, ambiguity, right? Thing is that if we apply these 10 keys, we'll be able to transform this somehow. And the V, instead of volatility, we will have vision. The U from uncertainty could become U from understanding. The C from complexity could become the C for clarity. And the A for ambiguity could become the A from agility. You see, the same word, but with different meaning. And I told you at the very beginning that it was not enough with becoming liquid. Do you remember this? I was telling you that we have to go one step farther. That bottle is solid, so now water has the shape of this bottle. If I put this water here, now this water does not have the shape of the bottle, but now has the shape of that glass because it's liquid. But I told you that this was not enough. We have to go farther because changes are so huge. What I'm telling you is that I have to be brave enough and have the right mindset to become this liquid gas. So that is the maximum level of change of mindset that we have to achieve. And now I would like to summarize everything in just one key speech from Yoda. Listen to him.
All right, I'll give it a try.
No, try not. Do or do not. There is no try.
That's for me my favorite scene there. He says, do or do not. There is no try. So now, what I'm asking you is that you take action, you use these 10 treats, and you decide tomorrow when you wake up, you decide that tomorrow is the first day of the rest of your life. Thank you very much. I'm done and ready for your questions if you have them. I have put my headphones. Yeah, it sounds
Lluís,
perfectly.
I love your presentation. I love your concepts, and I'm going to follow them because, in fact, I'm starting a new branch, and all this to me motivates me to just act. It's not like I have to try; I have to do it. Period.
Go for it.
Fantastic. We have questions from Spark Up that Marjolein has them, and we would like to see. Marjolein, are you there?
Yes. At this moment, I don't see any questions in Spark Up. So if you're still in the app, please put your questions here.
Thank you, everybody, for these messages on the chat. Thank you very much. I really appreciate them.
Yes, everybody loved the webinar and all the concepts. Lluís, where is your next conference?
My next conference is, this is the 1st of July, so it is next week in Barcelona. And then we will do a little break because we really need a break.
I know.
Not only me, but also, I mean, my family. I have these little 3 monsters that you have seen.
You have triples. It's amazing.
Triplets. Yes. So the thing is, I don't know if you know this, Teresa, but I wrote a book. My first book, it was about 3 A's. And I was all the time with 3. And then life gave me 3 kids. So, somehow you create your reality. Absolutely.
I have also 3 kids, but I had to do the work 3 times. So I got pregnant 3 times and had 3 kids. And triplets for me, it was the dream. Like, okay, it's always done once and that's it. So
this is, I said to my wife, she's a dentist, so she doesn't manage this managing concept. I said, honey, this is economies of scale and synergies. So let's go for it. So I'm blessed. I'm blessed with my triplets.
A lot of management and organization also.
And a lot of mindset to be now seriously. A lot of mindset and get ready for the changes. So what I was telling you, then we have a little break. And then in September, we are starting a very passionate season because everybody, more than me, is looking for events, again, physical events. I'm doing already physical events. I created this studio at home because of the COVID, obviously. But since some months ago, I have been able to go to
some
physical venues with all the obviously measures and so on. And I can feel how I mean, how excited people is about coming back to on premise and being able to touch. I mean, at the end, we are Latins, right? We like to touch each other. We like contact, and it has nothing to do, obviously. I mean,
it's not the same.
Can you? I mean, no. I'm talking to a camera. It's a very nice camera, but I would love to touch you and see your smile on your faces, and now give you some hugs. You know, so everybody's looking for this, and I'm confident. Let's keep our fingers crossed that we will be able to do this. So I'm really happy to come to Portugal or wherever from September on, and hopefully we can see each other physically.
I have an invitation for you. I'm going to write you an email. I have an invitation for you now that I've seen your presentation. I have an invitation for an international event that MPI Iberian chapter is preparing. We are preparing the MICE track. So I'll write you because I think you'll be a fantastic speaker over there. So
thank you very much. I've been in Portugal. You know what? I've been in Portugal just for business reasons. So I know 7-8 hotels and the airport, nothing else. So I think that this is
so sad. I mean,
it cannot be like this, right? It cannot be like this.
No, it's very sad. My country is beautiful. It's gorgeous.
I know.
Okay, so for everybody, I would like you to evaluate this session. And if you liked it, if you didn't like it, just, vote 1 to 5. We like to see how you quote this session. For us, it's very important. We'd like to know the quality of the education that we deliver. From our side, I want to thank very much Lluís for his session. Thank you very much. I'm motivated. I don't know about the others, but I'm motivated. So, and I would like also to thank very much to Mariana. Mariana, are you still there?
Yes, she is.
Yes, she is. Mariana, I hope you enjoyed Lluís and this session.
So much. Thank you. Very inspirational.
Here are the contacts for Mariana for Visit Porto North Conventions and Visitor Bureau. Any questions that you might have about the destination, but also if you need the help to find venues, to find DMCs, partners locally, whatever. If you need a site inspection, she can help you with that. So contact Mariana for this. Mariana, do you want to say anything else?
No, you've said it all. I think we're all going to the day very inspired, and let's try to have Lluís' words in our head and act. I think that's the greatest lesson. And act, and one of the actions should be just a trip to Porto in the north of Portugal. You have it in your head.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Right? We are going to organize an event there with a program of hosted buyers. Okay?
Let's do so. Next year.
Exactly.
Marjolaine, anything else?
At the moment, I think the score, I don't know if Lorena is going to send it up.
We need more votes, please. I put again the slide.
And that is important for us, okay? From our side, MPI, we are happy to deliver the sessions. We are happy to have our public, both in Portugal and in Spain. And also, we are very much happy to have destinations with us in Portugal and in Spain that have been joining us with the MPI in Love With. This is an action in which we help destinations to be well known as a destination, as a safe destination, and a destination that is ready for events, ready for meetings, and ready to receive everybody. So from my side, I say goodbye, and then goodbye to everybody. Thank you, Lluís. Thank you, Marjolaine. Thank you, Mariana.
Thank you.